morning, YouTube. It is Atticus. How we doing, my friends? And I am back with some more Dark Elves. So yeah, I really appreciate all the support on the last Dark Elf video, all the welcome backs and things like that. So yeah, it's good to hear from all you guys. Today is a really cool game. This one is one that it's probably one of my favorites I've done in recent memories, just because it was such a off-meta pick for both of us. I really wanted to try a different build. I don't think I've ever tried this build before, and I took something against vampires that I felt was a little bit risky, but if it worked, it would pay off. So, and my opponent brought a really unconventional build as well. So this whole game is just really cool, and I think I might have picked or discovered a new build for the Dark Elves that works really good against vampires. So let's go ahead and jump into it, guys. For my lord, you are seeing that I'm bringing the double sorceress build. So I'm taking a Supreme Sorceress of Dark and a regular Sorceress of Dark. Let's go ahead and pause it because I want to explain. So you're wondering why I'm taking two of those? Well, for this spell right... Oops, where's it at? Right here. We are taking double Word of Pain, guys. So over here... God, I hate when it does this. This thing... They need to really fix that. Oh, there we go. You can see that I've taken just Word of Pain and Power of Darkness. So I'm going to be trying to spam that spell as much as possible. And the idea is just to neuter his army, just to keep him from being able to attack. Same with the Sorceress over here. She has the Power of Darkness and Word of Pain as well. So, yeah, I should be able to get off at least four, maybe 5 different castings of Word of Pain, which is going to make sure that I win pretty much any engagement that I want. I put them up on these cold ones so that at least they can protect themselves. And you can see I do also have the Black Core here, so they'll come in handy in the infantry fight. But I really like this combination. It pretty much neuters your opponent 4 to 5 different times, and I think it's really powerful. So that is my leadership, guys. For my front line, we are doing some Black Core Corsairs of Hambo. So we're doing a mixture of like a ranged skirmish army supported by some big muscle right here. So these guys are going to be in the front. I put them in the front to be able to shoot some bats or Vargeist or things on the approach. Then we have a secondary line of Cold One Dread Knights. Now these are not the anti-large one. These are just the regular armor-piercing tough ones. And the reason I brought these is because if you think about it, vampires don't have very good anti-large infantry. All they have is these spearmen, and they have abyssal armor piercing. So yeah, I mean, if you look at the armor of these Cold One Dread Knights, 120. So yeah, they're going to be able to fight really long. They're going to crunch through these skeleton spearmens pretty easily, and they're going to keep things from pushing through my army. So yeah, these Vargolfs and things like that won't be able to come rampaging through my army. These guys will be able to hold them up. So I got 2 of those in total. We do have a Hydra. So yeah, I've been really having fun with the Hydra. I think he's a really good anchor for your front line. 1,600 gold, and you get something that has regeneration, breath attacks, terror, and yeah, he's just a really good option if you're going this kind of sort of army. Backing them up as spears, like in my last replay I had the Blackguard and Nagron, and I think it was the Chill of Sontar. Well, in this one it's the Dread Spears and the Hydra, so to kind of protect him if some Terrorgeist were to land down. Last but not least, we have 2 Bolt Throwers. So yeah, I love the double Bolt Thrower build. I have them kind of spread out, and yeah, you might be thinking, well, won't Fellbats shut that down? Well, that's what these guys here in the front are going to do, shoot down any Fellbats or things that try to snipe them. Then we have 1 unit of Cold One Knights, and these are the anti-large variant. So these guys are going to be protecting the Bolt Throwers and protecting my leadership and just filling some holes and gaps. But the real killing power is going to come down to these Cold One Dread Knights. These guys are going to hopefully be able to deal with this monster-heavy build that the vampires have brought. So let's go ahead and look into the vampires, and this is a monster bash. Now this is scary. If you're not prepared for something like this, well, you're going to be in a lot of trouble, because that's a lot of terror causing, that's a lot of monsters, that's a lot of mobility. That is a Death Star, and you can see that my opponent has brought in 4 different skeleton spearmen just to kind of protect these monster units, to keep things like Cold One Knights and stuff like that at bay. And then he has 2 Vargolfs. He has the Red Duke as his lord, but strangely enough, you can see that he has not brought in any magic, so he stripped it down just to be able to afford all these monsters. He does have Foe Seeker, but he does have El Sif, so he's going to be able to really try to goon my lord. He does have the Hunger and things like that, obviously, but yeah, no magic, just straight muscle. Another Terrorgeist, so this could be really scary for a Supreme Sorceress and a regular Sorceress. I mean, yeah, they're on Cold Ones, but they're not going to be able to fight a duel, Terrorgeist and dragons and things like that. So 2 Vorgolfs, the Red Duke on a dragon, a Terrorgeist, and 2 units of the Vartgeist with silver chevrons. So yeah, my opponent is going balls to the wall. This is going to be a really scary army. It's a really scary battle. We're going to see how it goes. So right off the bat, as the Supreme Sorceress said to my arm, I can't think of anything today. We'll let it pass. As she said to me on a date, I don't know. I think the Supreme Sorceress is kind of attractive. Yeah, I've always had a thing for brunettes, but so yeah, the bolt throwers are going to start opening up. You can see it's going to start shooting. I'm going to decide to focus the Vartgeist. Yeah, the reason I did that is because these guys could dodge my attacks, but the Vartgeist, or since they have a lot of different models, it makes them a little bit harder to be able to, jike and juve, to go from left to right. So, and they're also kind of a big threat to me. You can see over here, the 2 Vargolfs are coming in. Luckily, I do have this. Oh, I forgot to mention, I did have 1 unit of Dark Riders or repeater crossbows, and these guys were just to deal with like Blood Knights and things like that. So yeah, these guys are charging in, but I do have a lot of skirmish right here. We're going to be able to do a lot of damage on the approach. These Vargolfs only have 40 armor, so yeah, these Hambos are perfectly suited for dealing with them. So yeah, bolt throwers are focused on these Vartgeist. My opponent is sending these in, and you can see we've already did some damage. Now these guys do have regeneration, so any damage we do, it's going to take a while to melt them down. I do get a really good breath attack by the Hydra onto these Skeleton Spearmen, and boom, the Vartgeist are going to come charging in. And I'm going to use these Cold One Knights to lock this one down in place, and I'm going to use these Cold One Knights and these Cold One Dread Knights to lock down both of these. So yeah, these things have so much mobility, it's best to kind of get them off the map. And you see I'm going to get the first casting of Word of Pain on this one, and another Word of Pain on this one. So if I could get these 2 units pretty much taken off the map, it's going to make things a lot easier for me. And you can see that breath attack by the Hydra did a lot of damage. Now we're going to send in our forces. You can see that the Hambos are doing a good job of screening things out. And yeah, so boom, there's the second Word of Pain as my opponent tries to goon my Supreme Sorceress. He does get a little bit of damage, but yeah, he's completely surrounded by Cav, and you can see we are melting this one pretty quickly. Now these Hambos are going to do really good against these Vartgeist, and you can see we've already done a lot of damage to him with the bolt throwers, but yeah, I don't have any units really to protect him. But if my opponent wants to focus the bolt throwers, that means he's not attacking my Lord. You can see I am going to get a casting of the Black Horror. This is the bound spell by the Supreme Sorceress, and yeah, this is going to be really good damage right there. It's going to be able to win that infantry fight for me pretty quickly. I mean, there it goes, casting. Oops, going to speed up just for a second here, and boom, watch that unit just melt. Isn't that beautiful? And that's going to free up my spear units and things like that. Over here, guys, you can see that the Vartgeist are landing on these Hambos. There's nothing I can really do about it, but at least we're giving as good as we could get. And you can see that he has landed on this bolt thrower as well. But I have these 2 units of Hambos providing overwatch. And these Vartgeist don't have a lot of armor either. Only 10 armor. So pretty much any attack that they're getting is going to be able to do damage. The Hydra is going to come in here and start dueling the Vartgolf, but my opponent is going to come in here and try to duel my Lord. You can see he does land on the Supreme Sorceress, and he's absolutely putting a spank into her, especially with the LC, which is lowering the melee defense, physical resistance, and you can see in just one attack, he almost kills my leadership. So I'm clicking, I'm trying to get her away. I still do have the backup Sorceress, but yeah, I'm working on the Word of Pain right now. I'm waiting for the cooldown to come down. You can see I do use Arcane Power of Darkness to try to get that reload speed, or that, recast speed. You can see that these Cold One Knights are doing a good job of locking my opponent in place. That's why I like bringing these, because now he can't really push through. He's taking a lot of damage, and yeah, you can see over here that the Hydra and the Vortgolf are getting into a fight. He's being forced to really deal with those bolt throwers. Over here, these Hambos are doing a really good job. We're starting to focus the Terrorgeist. My opponent really needs to land that Terrorgeist. Try to do some, Lord sniping. And over here, guys, these Cold One Dread Knights are doing really good. They're fighting 2 units of spears. And yeah, just their high armor is keeping them alive. There's nothing really my opponent could do about it. So he's really focused on trying to Lord snipe. You can see he's doing everything in his power to try to get onto my Supreme Sorceress. But I'm being very patient, trying to keep her protected. And yeah, both my bolt throwers have been shut down at this moment, but there's not really anything I can do about it. You can see that I do get another Word of Pain off onto the Red Duke, so this is the 3rd casting of it. And yeah, you can see he's trying to force path and trying to get through it. My opponent does get a breath attack onto these Black Orc Corsairs, but yeah, things are looking really good. Over here, we have the Kaiju battle between the Vartgeist and the Hydra. Hydra should win that fight. He has a little bit more weapon strength, but yeah, both of them have regeneration. But yeah, we're starting to get a really good balance of power lead. You can see that my opponent does does land his Terror Guys, but that's what Hambos are really good at. They're really good at skirmishing, and it's really annoying to fight against. That's why I like bringing them. My opponent is so committed on trying to get my Supreme Sorcerers. He's not really attacking. You can see he's just clicking, but all that mass is keeping him from being able to escape. So that's what's really good about using like an infantry-centric build like this. Terror Guys, or excuse me, the Vergulf and the Hydra are going at it. Really, really cool battle. If you look at it, though, 440 weapon strength to 290, so yeah, the Hydra is going to be able to win that. And yeah, my infantry corps is still looking pretty good. My opponent is finally able to get out, but my bolt throwers are going to start opening up. You can see that I was able to send these guys, the remaining units, to get back onto the bolt throwers right here. Same with this one. And we're obviously going to start trying to fight the Red Duke, who's doing everything in his power to try to snipe my Supreme Sorcerers. Luckily, I'm using the Cav to try to block them up. You can see I'm using this unit right here to come in here and lock up this Vergulf, and yeah, guys, things are looking really good for us. These Hambos are doing a good job of shooting the Terror Guys. Slowly and surely, we're starting to wear him down. You can see the Red Duke now is getting ready to crumble. He just has too much cav. The Word of Pain is pretty much neutered him, and yeah, that's what makes this build so powerful. You can see the Red Duke does fall, and I'm going to get one more Word of Pain off on this Vergulf, just in spite, just to keep him neutered, and that's going to be a win for the Druki. So that was how to deal with monsters. I think that build has a lot of potential. I'd like to try it against a few other armies, maybe like something with Blood Knights to see how it goes. But yeah, tell me what you guys thought of that build. So let's go ahead and look at the in-screen breakdown, talk about some of the keys for my success. And yeah, the Word of Pain, a double Word of Pain, it's just powerful. I think it's really good. 146 kills was just from the Black Horror. These Cold One Dread Knights are just amazing in this matchup because these Spearmen aren't going to be able to hit them. They have really good mass. We're able to keep the Red Duke pinned down. Bolt throwers did their job. The Hydra did his job, and these Hambos were a really good counter to these Vert guys. So I think this build has a lot of potential, guys. Good game to Gago Arg. I think this is a really cool build. I think, yeah, I think, you know, if you try to goon my Lord like that, yeah, I don't know. It was a little bit of a gamble. I think a little bit better micro. A little bit more patience, you might have been able to do something a little bit more powerful. I mean, if you sent this Terror Geist in to maybe deal with these Cold One Dread Knights, and you were doing a lot of force path, and you were trying to get your Red Duke through my armies, you should have just fought. You should have just, and maybe brought like a zombie summon to muck up the AI. At least always bring the zombie summons, because that way, if you cast that on top of my Cav, they're going to be hitting your zombies, which means that you could do some damage. So I think that's a little bit of a missed opportunity with my opponent. I get what he was going for, but yeah, always bring the zombies, and maybe the healing too. I mean, maybe, you know, cut down on these chevrons here and go for something like that. So, I don't know. It was an experimental army. You can see he did have gold on the Terror guy, so it was experimental. I'll give him that. It was cool. So, alright guys, it's Atticus, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.